Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. My name is Eric, representing Tutorial 3, Group 3, and this time we'll be talking about Chapter 11, Motivating and Rewarding Employees. So, hope you learned something, and let's begin.
Hello, my name is HAIKAL. I'll be answering question 11.1 about why do managers worry about employees' motivations. So actually, managers need to worry about employee motivation because it directly affects productivity, performance, and job satisfactions. Even though most people work to earn a living, they won't perform well if they are not motivated. According to Maslow's theory, once basic needs salary are met, employees want recognitions and personal growth. Hasbrook also explained that pay alone does not motivate employees. Real motivation comes from achievement and responsibility. Expectancy theory shows that employees are motivated only when they believe that their effort will lead to rewards. So, managers must focus on motivations to improve performance, reduce turnover, and help organizations' success. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Muhammad ZAIRUL AZHAR, and I will be answering the question what is motivation and explain the three key elements of motivation. So, for the first part, what is motivation? Motivation is the process by which a person's efforts are energized, directed, and sustained toward attaining a goal. Motivation also focuses on why employees behave the way they do at work and how managers can influence that behavior to improve performance, productivity, and job satisfaction. The three key elements are energy, direction, and persistence. So, for the second part, explain the three key elements of motivation. The first element, which is energy, it is a measure of intensity or drive. A motivated person puts forth efforts and works hard. However, the quality of the effort must be considered as well as its intensity. High level of effort don't necessarily lead to favorable job performance. The second element is direction. The employee's efforts that directed toward and consistent with organization goal is the kind of effort wanted in the organization. And the last element is persistence. An organization wants their employees to persist in putting forth effort to achieve the organization goals. That's all for these questions. So, for the next question, which is contrast lower order and high order needs in Maslow hierarchy of needs. So, that's the picture that I provide. So, for the first one, which is lower order needs, it includes physiological such as food, water, shelter, and other physical requirements, and safety needs like security and protection from harm. It is externally satisfied, meaning that managers can help fulfill these needs through pay, safe working condition, job security, and benefits. Individuals are motivated to satisfy these needs first before going to higher level needs. Next is the higher order needs. It includes social, which are affection, belongingness, acceptance, and friendship. Esteem needs, such as internal, which is self respect, autonomy, achievement, and the external, which is status, recognition, and attention. There are also self actualization needs, like growth and self fulfillment. Once the lower needs are fulfilled, these higher order needs become the mandatory motivation of behavior. So, in conclusion, the lower needs focus on basic survival and security, while higher order needs focuses on growth and fulfillment and are met internally through meaningful work, recognition, and personal development.
Hello, my name is ANIQ and this is my answer for question number 4. So A, in the hierarchy of needs, money is used to buy basic things such as food and place to live. Once a person has enough of that, to safely survive, it stops being a big motivator because they start looking for other things like friendship and personal growth. So B, the two-factor theory, money is seen as a hygiene factor that keeps people from being unhappy. While having enough money prevents complaints, it does not actually inspire someone to work harder. Only things like achievement and recognition can do that. So C, equity theory, it says that employees compare their pay to what their co-workers earn for the same amount of work. It feels like if someone feels like they are being paid less than others for the same effort, they may feel cheated and may try less hard compared to what they used to balance things out. So answer number D, expectancy theory. Money only works as a motivator if the person values it and believes that working hard will actually result in a cash reward. If they do not care about the money or do not trust the boss to pay up, the money will not make them work any harder. So E, finally, people with a high need of achievement do not just work for the money, they are driven by goal of succeeding at a challenge, so they treat money more like a scorecard that proves they are doing a great job rather than the main reason for working. Hello, my name is ANIQ and this is my answer for discussion question number 5. When people feel like they are being treated unfairly compared to others, they usually try to fix that by changing their behavior. They might start putting in less effort, produce less quality of work, or ask for a raise to make their rewards match their hard work. If they cannot fix the situation through their own performance, they might start comparing themselves to different people, or in many cases, simply decide to quit their job entirely to find a place where they feel more valued.
Next, I will be giving 10-point summary on case study 1, which is one for the money, and the topic is the real living wage. For the first point, the UK introduced a minimum wage in 1999 and it increased annually. It also expanded this with the national living wage in 2016 to better reflect real living costs for workers over 25. The second point, the Living Wage Foundation encouraged employers to pay their workers above the legal minimum so workers can afford a decent standard of living. The third point, by January 2019, the Living Wage Foundation has over 4,700 employers were accredited, including around one-third of FTSE 100 companies. The fourth point, IKEA and UK adopted the real living wage in 2016, increasing pay for 7,300 employees to support growth, motivation, and lower staff turnover. And the fifth point, employees reported major positive life impact such as affording mortgage, paying bills more easily, and enjoying a better quality of life. On the sixth point, Chelsea FC became the first Premier League club to adopt the living wage in 2014. Bruce Buck said that the club showed their commitment to fairly rewarding staff, including contractor workers. The seventh point, the decision was publicly supported by London's Mayor Boris Johnson as a positive example for other football clubs to follow. On the eighth point, many employers believe paying a living wage is morally right and beneficial. It can help reduce poverty while also bringing commercial and wider community benefits. On the ninth point, research by the Living Wage Foundation showed that many employers saw better recruitment, retention, motivation, and commitment after adopting the living wage. The last point, most surveyed organizations also reported improved reputation, with example like Brewdog cutting staff turnover by 40%. That's all for 10-point summary on the case study 1.
My name is Thareeq and let's talk about the discussion question on case study number 1. So, the first question, does this case support the myth at the beginning of the chapter? What is the myth is? The myth is motivation is all about the show me the money. Show me the money means when there will be a motivation when there are money involved. In this case, for example, a top manager offers extra money to the lower manager to make sure they will finish their job by in time before the deadline. On top of that, this myth can be true and false because some people in this world has different motivation. For example, there were the other people has motivation regarding status, um, reputation, growth, and for example a position. So this myth, it can be true and it can be false. So the next question is: do you think that the reported increase in motivation has to do with something apart from just the extra money? In my opinion, I think it's a yes, because we are people. We have different opinion of our own, and because of that, we have our own motivation ourselves. For example, in this situation, an employee's motivation is feeling valued and respected. In some situation, when the higher level management has paid the employee above the legal minimum wage to pay for the extra hard work from the employees. Therefore, the employees will be appreciated and will be more motivated to do more hard work for the company. Next is the fairness and equity. So when the management distribute wages fairly, that means the employees are treated fairly. Because of that, the employees will gain trust in the management and reduces the employees' turnover and reduces conflict between the employees. And last but not least, the social recognition and dignity. For example, company of IKEA and Chelsea, their company make the employees have built emotional attachment to the company, and it will just strengthen up the employees' loyalty to the company.
Hey everyone. So for the next question, would these benefits to the organization be seen if middle or higher wage rates had been increased? So my answer is the benefit experienced by organizations are less likely to be seen if middle or higher wage rates were increased because wage increases have a greater impact on lower paid employees who struggle to meet basic living costs. When these workers receive higher pay, their motivation, job satisfaction, and commitment increase significantly, leading to lower staff turnover and improved retention. In contrast, middle and higher income employees already have their basic needs met, so additional pay is less likely to produce the same level of behavioral or performance improvement. Okay, next, the question asks, do you see any long-term issues with this increase in wage levels? So for my answer is yes. Increasing wage levels may create long-term issues for organizations, particularly through higher operating costs that can reduce profit margins and competitiveness. Over time, firms may respond by raising prices, limiting recruitment, or reducing working hours to control costs. If wage increases are not supported by improvement in employee productivity and overall efficiency, this financial pressure could become more significant in the long run.
So next, I'll be giving a 10-point summary on the second case application, which is about motivating professionals, also about the expectancy theory. So for the first point is that some well-known companies such as Netflix, LinkedIn, and Twitter offer unlimited paid vacation, allowing employees to take time off without a fixed number of days. However, This practice is still uncommon, with only a small percentage of companies using it. The second point is that many modern employees feel overworked and constantly under pressure due to deadlines, meetings, and the expectations to always be reachable, even outside work hours. Unlimited vacation is seen as one way to reduce stress and burnout. For the third point is that research shows that even when employees earn vacation days, they often do not use all of them. Technology and work culture make employees feel guilty or worried about taking time off. Next, offering unlimited vacation does not automatically mean employees will take more breaks. Many employees hesitate because they fear it sends a negative message to their managers or coworkers. For the fifth point is that companies also use unlimited vacation as a strategy to attract talented professionals, especially in competitive labor markets where skilled workers have many job options. So for the sixth point is that Kronos, a workplace management software company, introduced an open vacation policy to improve recruiting and found it easier to attract qualified employees after doing so. Next, managers at Kronos raised concerns because the policy lacked clear rules, making it harder to manage employee schedule and prevent excessive time off. For the eighth point is that some employees were unhappy because they had accumulated vacation days and expected a cash payout when leaving the company, which was removed under the new policy. For the ninth point is that long-term employees felt the policy was unfair since new employees could take the same amount of vacation without having worked for many years. For my last point is that the case highlights that while unlimited vacation can improve motivation and recruitment, it must be carefully planned and communicated to avoid confusion, fairness issues, and management problems.
Now, let's discuss question 11, 15. What are the pros and cons of unlimited vacation policies for the both employees and the organization? First, let's talk about the employees. On the plus side, it offers a ultimate flexibility. It treats employees like adults, trusting them to manage their own burnout and personal life. But there is a physiological downside. It often because a cost benefit. Many people actually take less time off because they are afraid of looking uncommitted or sending wrong message to the boss. Also, you lose money, you no longer get a cash payout unused day when you leave the company. Plus, senior staff who earn their time through years of service often feel it's unfair that new hires get same benefit immediately. Now let's discuss about the organization, why the company want to do this. First, it a massive recruitment tools. In a competitive job market, this open policy attract top tier talent. Second, there is a financial gain. Traditional company owe employees money for unused vacation day. By moving to unlimited, that financial liability disappears. However, it's not all easy. It creates managerial stress. Without a formal rule book, managers have juggle complex schedule themselves. It requires a shift from tracking hour at desk to track actual results, which usually requires extra training and leadership. Now, let's move to the next question. Question 11, 16. Why do you think some companies are moving to unlimited vacation policies and it is visible in a small companies? So, why are the companies switching now? It is about competition. High growth firms have to offer this just to stay relevant in the world for talent. It's also about modernization. With smartphones, we are essentially always available anyway. The company feels that digit 9 to 5 rules are outdated for digital age. And finally, its strategic move to cut costs by moving long-term vacation debt from their balance sheets. And can this work for small company? The challenge are real. Small teams don't have much slack. If one key person is gone, it can paralyze a whole department. There's also more peer pressure. It's harder to take time off when you know your three co-workers will be doing all your works. However, there are opportunities. Small firms are agile and can manage this policy through simple conversation than the complex HR system. It's also a great way to start up to attract talents when they can afford the massive salaries of the giant company.
So, on paper, unlimited vacation sounds amazing. As much time off as you want, no fixed limits, no counting days. But when you actually drop this policy into a real workplace, something interesting happens. People don't always use it, and that's where managers come in. Most employees don't decide based on what HR writes in a policy document. They decide based on what feels safe. They watch their managers. They notice who takes time off, who doesn't, and what happens to people who do. If managers are constantly online, replying to emails during weekends, or never taking leave themselves, the message is pretty clear, even if no one wants to say it out loud. In the Kronos case, managers themselves felt uncomfortable because the policy was vague. No fixed rules, no clear limits. The uncertainty doesn't just affect managers, it trickles down to employees. When expectations aren't clear, people tend to play it safe, and playing it safe usually means not taking too much time off. From a motivation perspective, this fits well with expectancy theory. Employees are always making mental calculations. If I take time off, will my work still be valued? Will my manager trust me the same way? If the outcome feels risky, the motivation disappears, even if the benefit looks good on the surface. That's why Kronos had to step in with manager training and HR support. Once managers felt more confident handling the policy, employees were more likely to trust that using it wouldn't backfire. So in the end, unlimited vacation only works when managers actively support it through their behavior and not just their approval. Now here's where it gets more interesting. Not everyone reacts to unlimited vacation the same way. Age and experience actually matter a lot here. Younger employees tend to see unlimited vacation as freedom, flexibility, trust, something that fits naturally with how they already work. Many of them enter the workforce during a time where remote work, flexible hours, and outcome based performance were already normal. So for them, taking time off doesn't automatically feel like they're slacking. Older or long tenured employees often look at the same policy through a very different lens. For years, vacation was something you earned. You stayed longer, you accumulated more days, and that structure felt fair. In the Kronos case, this is exactly why some senior employees felt uncomfortable. Seeing new hires access the same level of flexibility challenged their idea of equity. There's also a mindset difference around commitment. Some employees were trained, implicitly, to believe that being visible and always available equals dedication. That doesn't disappear overnight just because the policy changes, so even with unlimited vacation, some employees may hesitate to use it fully. So when you put this all together, unlimited vacation becomes more than just a benefit, it becomes a mirror. It reflects generational values, expectations, and definitions of fairness. That's why managers need to understand these differences because a policy designed to motivate one group might quietly alienate another if it's not handled carefully.
Hi, I'll be answering question 1119 on how does unlimited vacations affect employees' motivations. So actually, unlimited vacation can positively affect employee motivations by giving them more autonomy and better work-life balance. When employees feel trusted, they are usually more satisfied and motivated. However, in some companies, employees may feel pressure not to take leave, which can lead to stress or burnout. According to Hesberg, unlimited vacations help prevent dissatisfaction but does not automatically motivate employees. In conclusion, unlimited vacations works best when the company has a supportive culture and clear expectations. So that's all from me. Thank you.